Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech. It's otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am. I am from the internet. And today, I want to check out Mechanix Illustrated, a 1950s issue. There's just something I really love. The ephemera of 50s tech. The 50s were definitely a different time when promise was ahead of all of us. Oh, looks like I'm missing the rear cover. But at least in the magazines, everything was good. America could deal. April 1958. I'm gonna have to go through this one kind of quickly because it's been in the basement, let's say. There's something to be said about America in the 50s. The white picket fence communities that could turn on a dime and have a black person hanging from a tree. I mean, we don't want to think about those things, but let's be realists now. That actually happened. And maybe that wasn't the what we wanted to project. But we learned and we came out of it, didn't we? We changed. But still, on the surface, everything seems fine, and maybe that's a very Christian thing. Just to say, hey, everything's going fine. But in the 50s, weren't there wars? I bet there were different wars going on about this time, or wars brewing that I'm just not thinking about. Anyways, moving on. I love these advertisements. Even back in the 50s, they were selling everything with women and either showing women next, so we still do that, but like, oh, you have nice hair? Like here he has engineer hair, and over here he has nice sleeker hair, and the women are involved in him now, right? So are they selling the hair or are they selling the sex appeal? Or both? Or my computer guy said, never say you want to do computers. He felt really bad because when he went into recruiting, he said, I want to do computers. And apparently he felt really stupid about that. This seems to be the same kind of thing. I want to get into electricity. I don't think that's stupid. I think your heart's in the right place and you're going in the right direction. It's interesting how positive all this seems to be because when you get under the surface of people who lived at the time here, they all had their own sets of problems. I'll never be able to look back at people in the 50s and say, oh my goodness, you guys had all the money, everything was easy for you, though housing was easy to get. In the 50s, there were still some people in my area that didn't have internal plumbing. Then again, I gotta be really careful when I say stuff like that because there are still some people out there that don't have electricity and they prefer to turn their lamps on and off with kerosene here and there. There was, okay, only until the 80s within my town, there were two women who were teachers that still didn't have plumbing going to their house. They had an outhouse. Those poor women. Oh, I absolutely love the ephemera of the comic, or the comic, the atomic age. I mean, poor women having to go out to the outhouse and just freeze in the morning during a blizzard. The poor ladies in their hoo-haws. Man, there's so many advertisements for refrigeration sets, and it's just one guy standing in front of it showing it off. He's like, "Look at my balls. Check this out. This is complicated as hell, and it keeps the ladies cool." Legitimately, though, my wife, ex-wife now, the reason why she fell for me is because I had an air conditioner, and no other guy my age in the factory had an air conditioner. So she came to my house after work, if you know what I mean. I would have saved the marriage if I would have got internal cooling, but I had to rent it. Guys, I don't rent my air conditioning or my furniture, and I'm sure some of y'all are going to know what I said, and that kind of broke the relationship. But moving on, I don't understand this one. So in the factories, you could like pinch women's asses or something? Is that where you could chase the ladies around? What? What? That's sexual. That's sexual harassment. Wow, times have changed. If you tried to put that in a magazine today, I'm so glad that I'm going to be stuffed up for going through this thing. It smells like the basement, but wow, you could not get away with that. That is an evil old man right there. It's what she's wearing, right? Right? That's what's getting him going, right? Legitimately, what I'm upset about though, how come women never chase men? I want to be chased around a factory. Seriously. Well, maybe not chased around a factory, but I want people to be able to I want women to be able to tell me I look good by pinching my bottom the way that men did women's in the 50s. I am so glad that my daughter won't have to worry about that shit when she goes to work in the factory, though. Yeah, tell me women can't work in the factory now. Anyways, what the heck is it up with all of these stilettos? And why are women always wearing them on their shoes? Platform, stiletto? Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough, guys. Let's talk some shopping here. The women are probably all gone. And if there is a Karen left, hey, I identify as bisexual, so I can get away with off-color remarks. Tell me the technology of that. Now, this is something that fascinates me. In the 50s, toolbox tool chests that pull out were a big deal. If you had one, you wanted one. People liked to have these things. They were nice things to have. I find these things for free on the side of the road all the time now, and I will never be able to own a home. I can get one of those TVs anytime. I can make a house with those TVs, and it's more cheaper than trying to get a house. What's new, Pinocchio? I bet kids don't even know what shorthand is anymore. All through school, I heard about shorthand 3 or 4 times. I might have seen shorthand a handful of times, and since the internet became a thing, nobody's worried about shorthand. So there was a time for you younger kids where, like, court stenographers would write in something called shorthand, where they would it was an you had the ability to write unbelievably quick because you used a different code basically. Geez, if you tried cursive writing in shorthand, these millennials would have no idea what you're doing. So there's a little bit of me that really wants to get into this. Just getting a brick maker, just getting a brick maker and making some of my own money. You can't do that anymore. Like if you want to be a brick maker these days, you gotta work for this company. They gotta be insured for that because back in the 50s, some people tried to make bricks and some people were unscrupulous. Some people were really stupid with what they did. I like that. And some people were just straight up unscrupulous. Let's face it, there's so many people that would burn down the world just to get a bit more for their own. Oh, cool. The adding machine. I keep seeing this in secondhand stores in wallets. Somehow, you would do a flipper thing there. And with a flippy thing, it would give you a readout. And if you knew how to read it, it would basically be a good calculator adding machine. Oh, it's a magic. Oh, interesting though. This bit says quite a bit about our situation that we're in now. War surplus, save up to 90%, pennies on the dollars, right? Okay, so the Americans' money went to purchase these things for war that never happened, and money was spent for these things, and now Americans could purchase them, but that stuff was bought with debt. Debt that millennials and the people onward are going to have to buy are going to have to deal with. We definitely have a situation where the older folks did have it better in certain ways, but at the same time, like I just mentioned, did they even have toilets at the time? What's up with popular mechanics, Mechanix Illustrated, and whatnot, and like derringers? I mean, why not regular rifles? Why not advertise regular rifles more? And I love all of the Charles Atlas. In just 7 days, I can make a man out of you type thing. You see less and less of those as time goes on, but you need some muscles if you wanted to be a tech in the 50s. Let's face it, you didn't have all the electronic hoists everywhere and the PPE. So I gotta wonder about the gun things. I've gone through a lot of these popular mechanics and science mechanics. I've seen a lot of pieces, but they don't really do anything on guns, which is interesting. I would have expected them to do an article on the AK-47 and say how it lasted so long, and then do something on the M16 and say why it is so accurate and stuff like that, or a light machine gun or a mounted machine gun. The Corvette 1958. Oh, geez, these old Corvettes just look so good with a woman driving in a bonnet. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, I love the 50s. Oh, and these pictures. Oh, this is bronzography for me, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta say. We're just gonna take a second to appreciate that as men. Yeah. You know what? Not as men, as mechanics. Yeah. Oh, let's see what's under the hood, baby. Not you. You keep that bonnet on. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The motor's repair manual is remarkable. Now, you might think that's just some kind of little advertisement off the side, but manuals really taught you what you were doing if you didn't have someone there to show your artificial intelligence to help you. The big, bold chieftain, Pontiac. Oh, wow. You could put so many hooks. Yeah, yeah. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust the fact that he kind of gives that look like he just brought everyone, including little Timmy over here, into the garage and they're all getting high off exhaust fumes because the car's going. I have never seen a family clean a car like this. Something's going on here. I got some Ted Bundy vibes going off that guy on the left. I have a feeling he's going to be eating a piece of glory over there before this is done. Oh boy, look at that. The dream car come true. Are they making a prototype car there? That looks a little bit phallic. Hey there, Mimi. How you doing? It's new. Three-wheel motorcycles. Fishing poles that bend that women can use. Who'd have thunk it? This is interesting. A Jeep seat. They're featuring a Jeep seat. Look at that smile. Everything is better with good-looking women and dogs. I mean, cats are pretty cool too. Wait, the Tokyo Monorail, the first of the Orient, first in the Orient carries. Whoa, because they have bullet trains now. This is 58, and they were having a big deal about getting a single monorail. Geez, they have the craziest bullet trains in Japan right now. That goes so unbelievably smoothly and fast. Oh, there's just like sex on rails. Why don't you just get a golf bag? A cane with... Can someone explain to me why this guy doesn't just have a golf bag? Is this supposed to be some kind of super light golf bag? Were white men not allowed to carry around their own golf bag? Did they have to have like a little black kid do it or something? What's going on here? I don't understand. Wire underwear and gloves are the latest Antarctic fashion. Hook up the electronic doohickey to your skin, and you can warm up because we have it hooked into a battery. That is the strangest damn looking Eskimo I have ever seen. Hey, wait, we're not even allowed to call them Eskimos anymore. That's a derogatory name that other natives gave to them. Wait, I can't say that. That would mean that other natives are derogatory to other natives, and we all know that just doesn't happen. All natives are perfect, and they love the earth and each other perfectly all the time, every time. All right, are the feminists gone? Can I come out? But seriously, do you think they just did this because they were like, nobody knows what an Eskimo looks like? Just get an African in here. And everyone's like, okay, all right, I've never seen an Inuit person, so. Yeah, so let's bitch about progressives for a sec. The Comanche, the name the Comanche means he who is against me at all times. I just love it when my progressive girlfriend's like, oh, the natives are perfect all the time. No, then why can't I say Eskimo? And why isn't anyone pissed off with Comanche? Maybe it's because Eskimo means you eat raw fish, which really isn't such a big deal or a bad deal. And saying Comanche means you gonna get your ass kicked. And also, I'm pretty sure the Comanche were basically like squashed and just right across the way. I'll put you in the transistor radio business for only $19. It was a little transistor radio like that. That is the reason that whenever you're on a flight, you need to turn everything off as the plane is taking off. Because once upon a time, there was a plane taking off, it crashed because the instrumentation paneling at the front went haywire. And when they looked through everything, they found out that it was a transistor radio someone was using close to the pilot, like somewhere close to the head of the plane, and it messed up with the instrumentation. I got to look more into that now because that's one of those things that my teachers taught me about when I was in grade 8. Now that was well before the time when the internet was around and could tell you what was actually going on. There's other things that I was taught in grade 8 that I got to figure out is real. One of them is that there was a McDonald's in California that was all automated except for one engineer, and I keep finding this place existed, but I can't find any pictures or information on that. Anyway, so here we're currently dealing with homosexual teens coming out of the closet, not understanding it, because here's a kid on a beach on a beautiful day with a really good-looking lady, and he's watching television. Then again, this kind of explains to me the girls in the dating pool these days always talking about their husbands playing Halo all the time and ignoring them for sexy time. Ignore your girlfriend anyway. You can even ignore her on the beach now. Legit, I love this breakdown here of the price, the volts. Yeah, they're all 110, continuous 200. Geez, that's interesting. So all these would play off of your car battery, but you'd probably want your car to be on, right? Because that'd probably drain your battery pretty quickly. Okay, he's got an inverter. Oh, he's got an inverter. Why would you have an inverter? I mean, if that's a 12-volt unit, no, I must be understanding that. I'm understanding that wrong. No, he's transferring it from 12 volt to 110 with the inverter. That's pretty complicated. Why don't you just hang out with your girlfriend? I mean, what is so important? If it was a sunny day, you wouldn't even be able to see what was on the screen. I remember seeing this picture a hacker took. He infiltrated somebody's computer and he was looking in the camera and he brought a pop-up up and he was like, dude, why are you on this computer? You have that beautiful woman in bed behind you. And the guy looked like he was about to crap his pants. Oh boy, we figured out plastic and we're putting plastic on everything. Plastic pouches protects everything. Put them on your daughter. Well, maybe not put them over your daughter, but put them over your wiener. I have a daughter. This joke just got too real for me. Man, that slip-on piping was a really big thing. There were a lot of people actually thought you could do a lot with it. And then women saw it and they were like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's gross. I don't like plastic furniture, nee. If you're brave enough, anything's a do. More light aimed right. So in these old books, it really seems like they were trying to get a better headlight for better everyone, and then we decided, nah, let's just keep the headlights the way they are and we'll blind everyone. Orbital action. Man, we got really excited about such kind of... Okay, that's not a minimum thing. That's actually really cool. Cutting at an edge on an angle there with one of those saws. That's not a skill saw. What do you call that? A jigsaw? No, jigsaws stand on the table. I really need to get my practical information. No! Why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think of that? Cockeyed wheels. I have a feeling this is something that my generation doesn't have to worry about because we build things a little bit differently. Yeah, I don't see any bolts on that thing. What's going on there? Did wheels used to be attached from the back? No, I'm missing something here. I'm missing something. Silvering your mirror? I have a feeling nobody does this anymore. Nitric acid, yeah. Yeah, you don't just make a magazine to tell people to play with acid these days. For science! But that's the thing about science. And mechanics. Sometimes you gotta play with some dragons in order to get your chariot going. The Kodak camera carnival, yeah, from the 50s. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it here for a second. You guys can take this all in. Oh my goodness, one of the ones on the left were actually on the shelf. I had it on the shelf. Do I still have it on the shelf? No, that's not a Kodak. Elvis, is your camera a Kodak? Huh, it is a Kodak. Brownie bullet camera. Oh my goodness, it is. It's from the same camera line. I love it. That's wonderful. Okay, that is so cool. The Brownie line. All right. That's not too expensive. $10 back in the day. Kodak TV stars. I would not want to have to thread any of these. Like, looking at them is one thing, but getting them going... Geez, you almost have to have a night course in order to figure it all out. Legitimately. You can say it's not that hard, but even you old-timers, I've seen you guys go back to this stuff and then admit, okay, it is much harder than I remember it being. GE Power Mite flash bulb. Oh my god. Yeah, it has nothing to do with... The picture has nothing to do with the rest of the ad, but that picture is lovely, isn't it? We've all had that puppy dog. We all love our kids and we all love our puppy dogs. And when the puppy dogs come to take our kids' food, it's adorable. Oh, I had my dog take... What did he steal? A slice of bologna from my youngest's hand. I have so many memories of my youngest going to the fridge to get a hot dog wiener or a slice of bologna, and the little dog just kind of... If my kid was slow, the little dog would just kind of jump up slowly and in his mind consider the barrier between can I have this and not, and decide, yes, I'm just going to take this. I'm just delicately take it, and then it's on the ground. It's like he pulled it out of his hand, and then it hit the ground, and he's like, well, it's on the ground. It's mine now, right, Dad? He looked over at me. I was like, oh, all right. Now, back in the 50s, we wanted to get the most use out of everything that we had, right? I should say they. But These days, in the 90s and the 2000s, we don't want one thing that'll do everything. No, that means we're poor. We need to buy one tool for every job. We need a drill press, we need a we need we need we need a sander. No, we can't have one thing that'll do multiple things. All this thing's supposed to be able to do is put in drills. I really don't like these guys. I was passing a car near the top of a hill on a double yellow. I have no remorse for these guys. No remorse. Once again, I'm finding solar energy furnace in the advertisements. I need to find this. I look, but I can't find anything about it. Like, you can see it here, but what does it look like, and how would that furnace give me heat? How would it transfer? Because it looks like that had to be outside. You're not going to put it in the basement like that, right? Like, what? How does it work? And telescopes is the name of the game. Anyways, that's it from me, folks. For the 50s ephemera, Mechanix Illustrated. How to Do It magazine. Some good stuff. Have a good one, folks, and take it easy. Take care of each other.